We are 22West Radio. 22West Radio is 22westmedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and a Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 118 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Of course, I'm your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst, James Williams, and of course, our producer, Rob Flores. You can follow us on Twitter at RealBTR and Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. You can also follow me individually on Twitter at EthanNB95. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And Rob at
Rob Flores Media.
Sweet. What a week it has been. Of course, we're talking pro wrestling. This is a pro wrestling radio program / YouTube series, which you can catch every single week. Search up youtube.com/Beyond the Ropes, or just search up Beyond the Ropes, and you'll find over 100 episodes currently uploaded. This past weekend, Survivor Series happened. What a show! Were you able to catch some of the spectacle that happened this past weekend?
Yes, I was, and I think we should just jump right into it. Obviously, it is Thanksgiving season. Everyone is getting their turkey. I know Rob has his turkey, and it's always, you always know it's Thanksgiving time when Survivor Series happen. So what better way to have celebrated Thanksgiving than to put the gobbledygooker over and win the 24/7 championship, and do justice to the 30-year career of none other than the gobbledygooker. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that. A 30-year career for the legend, the gobbledygooker, coming back and winning a championship, adding to his Hall of Fame resume. It doesn't get any better than that. Biggest guy, best guy, biggest superstar on the show 30 years prior, 30 years up to this day. It doesn't get any better than a gobbledygooker. Tell me I'm wrong.
Of course, we were going to talk about the legend, the Gooker. Of course, we had to. He's a champion now, or was.
Short reign, but hey, you can't get everything you want. You have a 30-year career, but you have a short reign. I mean, I'll take it.
Hey, he was champion for at least a good hour, so
at least,
yeah, take it. Of course, we're not talking only about the Gooker, even though it was great to see him back. Of course, he does deserve a proper send-off.
To be fair, well, hey, now we don't know if this is his send-off. Now he may still go. He looked like he can go.
He lost a foot. He lost a foot.
He did lose a foot. But I mean, if it wasn't for that bird seed,
he would have been champion still probably.
And he was in. He had a few good segments. He was in there for more than some other guys who may be legends. But we're gonna talk about another guy, I guess, who's been there. He made his debut at the same night, 30 years ago. Yes,
of course,
he did.
We're talking about the Undertaker, who had his final farewell on this past Sunday at Survivor Series. I mean, after the last 5 or so, however many years of teasing retirement, this is it. This was apparently it. I mean, according to everything that's being talked about and promoted, 30 years, basically almost till the day.
I believe it was to the day, and I mean, whether or not we want to say he was the one teasing for the last 5 years, I mean, everyone else has kind of done the teasing, or at least we were ready to kind of write him off. But, let's just jump into it. Should the farewell have been better?
Yeah.
Was there an opportunity missed?
I didn't know what to expect, especially with there not being an audience. It was a weird situation. When you're trying to write off a character who's essentially undead, and you kind of want to keep it to that gimmick. You don't want to just. I know Undertaker, Mark Calloway has kind of already broken that fourth wall essentially, but there's still elements there, like, especially on the final night. You're going to be the Undertaker for one final time, as he said. Um, before he ultimately said he's going to let Undertaker rest in peace. Finally, kind of put that to rest. Um, I think just keeping it simple, saying a few words, maybe was just what he wanted. I mean, we don't know exactly. Did he deserve a bigger send off? Yeah, I think he did. I think the Hall of Fame probably will be one where he probably will get a bigger send off. But it's weird with fans not being there. Just I'm sure it would have maybe have been a bigger spectacle.
I think so, and I think it was kind of hard. I think the Undertaker kept it short. One, just I mean, he hasn't been known for being a long-winded talker, but I think part of it too is he didn't want to get choked up or anything, because when you're in that ring, especially for someone who's been doing it for so long, like the Undertaker, you're keeping your gimmick strong at that point, and you're trying to keep it strong. I mean, you're not gonna wait till the last day and then lose your gimmick. So no, but in all honesty, I mean, I think obviously with the fans there would have been better considering the day that it was. I mean, this is not a day or a date that you can have back or do again. So it's unfortunate that the fans weren't there. But I mean, when your 30th anniversary rolls around, if you think it's time and everyone involved thinks it's time, then you kind of do it. Obviously, it would have been better with fans, would have been a lot different for sure. But I think something that did raise some eyebrows with a lot of people was the way you had a lot of legends come back to kind of celebrate and honor, if you want to call it that. It was just kind of weird because they were there, and I popped pretty hard for some of the guys that came back, getting to see Henry and Phineas Godwin come back and look at them. I had heard that Henry was still a tall glass of water and looked like he can go, and I think he still could go. Phineas, he's kind of slowed down, or at least body weight and whatnot, but still look good nonetheless. And Savio Vega looked like he could still go too. Those were some guys that I was pretty excited to see, especially too the Godfather. Anytime you see the Godfather out there, it's always gonna be a good time. He's best friends with the Undertaker. So those are some of the guys. I mean, obviously Triple H, Shane, Shawn Michaels were out there as well. Jeff Hardy being another one. Big Show, Kane. Rikishi was out there as well. And but seeing all those guys, watching them make their entrance, and then that was it. And then they play the video package. Obviously, WWE's always going to put a good video package together. But it was just, you kind of thought maybe there was supposed to be more with those legends being there.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it why they were there, but it just felt like there was still something missing with them, especially because they leave the ring right after you see Vince on the other end of that video package to kind of introduce the Undertaker. So
yeah, so we'll run through it real quick. You mentioned all the legends kind of come out.
mm-hmm.
You mentioned all the names: Ric Flair,
Kevin Nash, and Ric Flair, yeah,
Kevin Nash,
and Booker T.
Booker T. The list goes on. There's about 15 guys in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, all who were really close to Taker himself. I'm sure he probably gave them the lists of who he wanted there. And so they all had, JBL was there.
Yeah.
They all had some sort of significance, whether they were close friends behind the scenes or they had on-screen rivalries in terms of like JBL, Triple H, Shawn Michaels and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, the video package played, of course. Excellent video package.
Mm-hmm.
As always, as you mentioned, from WWE. Very fitting. And then you had the legends basically moved to the side. I saw a picture. They were watching from the barriers.
Like in the crowd, like they kind of.
Crowds, pretty much.
Where'd you see that, or how did you?
There was a picture posted on Twitter. I don't remember who tweeted it out, but there was a picture of them kind of like watching from the side.
Gotcha.
And so Vince was obviously already in the ring once the video package ended.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about Undertaker for a bit. He mentioned WWF, which was for the first time in years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then he got a little choked up. You could tell that he really values what Undertaker has done over the last 30 years, and
right.
In a way, he's saying goodbye to him. He for 30 years he was his guy to rely on for, if he needed a main eventer.
Yeah.
if he needed someone to show up at WrestleMania every year, he put over Brock Lesnar, put over Roman Reigns at Mania. He did that. So obviously it was a big deal. And of course he had to introduce him. It was only fitting. And we got to see that kind of long Undertaker walk for the final time, though. And special. He got in the ring and he quickly had a few words, pretty much saying, the gist, as I mentioned earlier, saying it's time, I finally let the Undertaker rest in peace. And he walks out, and that's it. That's kind of the last, the curtain call there for Taker. Obviously, since then, a bunch of photos have surfaced on Instagram and WWE's posted. You can tell a number of current roster members taking photos with him and showing their respects, and even people who aren't in the company anymore doing the same and all that. So arguably the most respected individual in the wrestling world. So
yeah, no doubt about it. And I think just too, there's just to bring up a few other points. Right after the farewell, which ended and it closed out Survivor Series, they had a pre-recorded episode with Taker and Stone Cold, which I thought was pretty good and pretty interesting. And Austin did ask him, is he like officially done? And of course he said, maybe. Like it still kind of wasn't.
He's done. I think he's done.
Yes, and yeah, I do too. But he did kind of say, if the boss comes calling, like, I don't know what the situation would have to be. It doesn't get any better than ending it with AJ Styles, and you've already done the interviews. So I don't know. I think it's done, but I'm just saying that's what he said on there.
I think with Vince kind of introducing them and even kind of mentioning them, and you can tell you're getting choked up. I don't think he's going to ask him for anything else after this. Like, it would have to be major that he would, but I don't think he's going to be asking him to come back anymore.
Right. I'm curious to see how he's played, how they, because you even kind of said there, and I believe that is exactly what Undertaker said. It's time to put the Undertaker to rest, kind of deal. Is it though? Like, I mean, is he not going to dress up and come to
I'm sure
50th anniversary of Raw or whatever? Like, I mean, is he gone? No, I don't. I don't.
In terms of matches, I think he's done.
In terms of matches, yes.
That's not saying he can't put on the coat and the hat. And
I mean, yeah. I mean, I almost think he has to. I mean, let alone whatever your Legends contract is or whatever. I mean, but that's kind of what this new contract for life was that they signed with him, I believe, but last year was for him to still make appearances, obviously do the press runs and everything. I'm sure there's going to be more.
I think it's going to be an amalgam between what we've seen this past year, where yes, it's Undertaker, but he's kind of laid back Undertaker in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud, he was at WrestleMania. He was a mix of his incarnations,
And he talked about that too. He talked about that on the Austin podcast. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, if anything, we will kind of see more of a Mark Calloway kind of mix in terms of what his gimmick is going forward, just because that one's a little bit more closer to him and easier to kind of, do, I guess. But yeah, we'll see. I'm sure he'll still be at, WrestleMania Access and everything else. So, he's not going anywhere. But he's really kind of let his hair down, I guess you can say, with the Hot Wings show interview that I haven't watched yet, but I'm looking forward to watching that.
It was good. It was a good episode.
I'm sure it was. I want to see how he handles the wings. I'd like to think that he did pretty well, but don't spoil it for me. But I'm looking forward to that one. And there was some other interviews, but a lot of them are kind of asking a lot of the same questions. So I don't think that fourth wall is completely broken.
Not totally. Rob just gave us a 3-minute warning here.
The 3-minute warning.
Are we gonna see? No,
Eric Bischoff.
Rosie and Jamal. Well, mentioned Rico here, which of
Yeah.
course, the legend Rico himself.
Hold on now. Hold on now. No. Um, but
Um,
but I think again, I think even just looking at the guest list of people who were there for the Undertaker, I think it would have been a lot more interesting. Not a lot more, I guess, just to see if everything was okay. There was no COVID. Who else would have been there? Because I kind of thought Bret Hart might have been out there, maybe. I think you look at a guy like Brock Lesnar wasn't there. Roman Reigns could have been out there. AJ Styles, but I guess those guys were on the card earlier. You don't really need them out there. But those are guys who gave Undertaker his last matches. And I think they could have been out there. But
well, I mean that's a good transition there a bit, which we'll get to after the break. But
call the tease, Ethan.
Roman Reigns is busy being the tribal chief here.
Oh Lord.
That's all I gotta say about that. Rob, we still got a little time, right? 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. So here comes the tease.
Go ahead.
I thought, they actually went through with it. We're getting Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. I thought it was pretty interesting the way it came out, and I thought the finish, according to my predictions, I was wrong. Yes, kind of. No, I think I had it as a DQ.
You had it as DQ.
But that doesn't mean it was a clean finish.
No, but the right person won. And
did the right person win though?
I think so. I think so, and we'll talk about that right person winning. Overall, as a whole, I thought Survivor Series was an enjoyable show. I thought there were things to like. There was a couple things that were iffy, but it was a nice show. Obviously, that concluded and culminated in the 30th anniversary final farewell with the Undertaker, which we talked about. But when we return, we're going to talk about. We're going to kick it off with the kickoff show match, and then kind of bleed into the rest of the show there. All that and more, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at RealBTR Radio. And so we'll be right back. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 118 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm your host, Ethan Ortiz, joined alongside the Analyst, James Williams, and of course, on the controls, and our special timekeeper now, he is Mr. Rob Flores.
Pause. Wait, is he really the special timekeeper if he does it every week?
You're right.
Isn't he just the timekeeper?
He's not special.
Sorry.
I was trying to put you over, Rob, and
I'm just saying.
You got deep cut.
You can't put him over every week as a special timekeeper if it's not special after like the second or third week.
It's a holiday weekend. We can put him over a little bit, but that's fine.
Okay, fine. Special timekeeper, but next week he's just a timekeeper.
You're not special anymore after next week.
Yeah.
Of course, you can follow the show on Twitter at RealBTR Radio and Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. Find over 100 episodes. Actually, all 117 episodes should be uploaded on YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes or go over to Rob's channel, Rob Flores, and they will all be listed there. Let's see. Did I get everything? Twitter. You can follow me at EthanMV95. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And you can follow Rob at
Rob Flores Media.
I think I covered all our bases there. Of course, Beyond the Ropes, Pro Wrestling Talk. We are BTR. Let's get into our Survivor Series discussion. Of course, we already talked about The Undertaker, and we'll talk about more toward the end of the year as we get into kind of our best of, maybe worst of kind of discussions, which I'm already planning here. But let's talk about the annual Survivor Series. The kickoff show started with a dual brand battle royal. So this match was kind of announced, was it the morning of or the day? I think it was like the day before.
Sounds about right.
I'm pulling up, I should have pulled up our predictions beforehand, but here, I'm going to pull them up just to make sure we got them.
Yeah, we don't got to look at those. It's not like
Let's look how well you did.
No, that's not. I don't know how good I did, to be honest. I know. I mean, I know I didn't get this one right. I didn't get the battle royal right, and then the main event.
Okay, so Battle Royal. We didn't really know anyone who was going to be in it. So you predicted Mustafa Ali,
Yeah,
and I predicted Big E.
and he wasn't even in the match.
Neither was Ali. And
he wasn't.
Rob, you predicted the glorious Robert Roode, and he was actually in the match.
So Robert wins. So Rob wins then.
I guess
By
technically.
default.
But that's not technically. It doesn't really count.
Yes, it does. If both of us didn't pick someone who was actually in the match.
It's not fair. We didn't know who was in the match.
I mean,
it was a fun match. The first elimination was John Morrison, which would have been my pick, which is a shame. But honestly, the right person won. The Miz.
No. First of all,
Mr. Money in the Bank.
Hold on. So we could talk about John Morrison later because I think he's getting the short end of the stick on all of this.
I agree. I think he is.
But, with his buddy The Miz winning it, I don't know if that's the right move. One, he's already the Money in the Bank winner. Yeah. What does he gain from it? And, who is your last three? Chad Gable and
Dominic.
Diego, or not Diego.
Dominic.
Diego, they're from San Diego. And Dominic.
Strong showing from both guys, by the way.
Yeah, so but why not have him win?
Because you have an A-lister like The Miz. You have the Money in the Bank. Come on now.
The briefcase is not on the line.
Oh. Yeah, he's a face of USA. He's the face of USA. Come on.
Yes, but his shoulders aren't being pinned to the mat, and it wasn't on USA. So what does it matter? I mean, but we could throw John Morrison out of the ring first.
I agree. I think he's getting the short end of the stick. He probably could have used that way more than Miz.
Are they even a tag team still?
Yeah. He just got eliminated first, and he got new red tights too, and he was there all but a minute.
Yeah, but now he's just on the coattails of Miz with the Money in the Bank thing. I think I saw on a commercial Morrison's on Miz's TV show.
Great show, by the way.
What is Morrison doing?
And he's playing the best friend. That's okay. That's not a bad role. Just like you can play not to every week on this show.
But that's fine. But at least I know I'm gonna be on the show.
John Morrison knows he's gonna be on the show.
I guess. I mean, as long as he's getting on the show. But still,
if he's happy, you know what? That's fine. But he should be a WWE champion at some point. I mean, I don't know.
Hold on now. Like the world champion or like?
Yeah. It should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, but now?
It can still happen.
Crazier things have happened. I
mean, Miz did celebrate his 10th anniversary from when he did cash in. It was actually at Survivor Series, his 10th anniversary. So
I think it was the same building too.
Same building, 10 years later, exact same day. Yeah.
And they didn't mention it, probably because they didn't mention it. They didn't want to tease it or build any speculation to it. Even though, I mean, again, if you didn't want any of that conversation to happen, don't have The Miz win the Battle Royal.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
10 years later, he wins two big events.
Let Dominic win it. Give the kid something that he could put on the back of his cardboard when he has an action figure, Hall of Famer.
He's on TV. He's on a pay-per-view kickoff. That's good enough for Dominic.
No.
He's been doing this for like 4 months. That's enough.
Don't put him in the top 3 if he's not going to win it.
Hey, you know what? They needed a good white meat baby face. They got him in there. All right.
Yeah, because he sure did get cheated. That's for sure.
Nah, he's fine.
Is he, though? Maybe his feelings are hurt.
You know what? That's not of our concern here. Okay, James? All right?
I guess. I'm just saying.
All right, let's just kick it off with the Survivor Series, the actual show. The Survivor Series 5-on-5 men's elimination match. I was so close to a perfect prediction, and I can't believe I doubted my team captain for Raw, AJ Styles. So we had on Team Raw, we had the self-proclaimed team captain AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, Riddle, who lost his first name, and Sheamus, taking on Team SmackDown, the mess that was Team SmackDown. We had King Corbin, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens. Let's see, who else we have? I don't even remember. Otis.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was in there. And of course, our Lord and Savior, the Messiah of Friday nights, Seth.
Oh, wow. So he was in the match. Okay, so for me, the network was being laggy. So by the time I got to see this first match, it was already just Otis and Uso are the last two in. So what happened with Team SmackDown? What went wrong?
Well, first off, Otis didn't earn a spot. So the fact that they just threw him in there was the Friday before was just terrible.
Well, who else were they going to put?
Chad Gable, Rey Mysterio. Who else do they have? They have everybody on.
All those guys are better off in the Royal Rumble if that's where they were, or the Battle Royal, because they were going to get jobbed out in Team SmackDown anyways.
I guess, yeah. So I kind of figured this was the case, considering the last month Team Raw had literally been trying to work together. So I figured it would be kind of a sweep.
But that's exactly why I thought my prediction was going according to plan. By the time the network is working for me, and I see Otis and Jey Uso against 5 other guys, I'm thinking
Jey was going to be the sole survivor, right?
I had Jey as a sole survivor, and I had it perfect. I thought it was going perfectly when Otis gets eliminated, and it's 1-on-5. And I said, Here comes the rally. Jey Uso is gonna super kick everybody and just do whatever he does.
Everyone.
I didn't like the way it ended. Not because he got eliminated, but all Jey Uso did was kick people. It wasn't that great of a showing. I mean, it's probably not his. It's his leg, so I guess it is his doing. But
well, see, first off, he's not the tribal chief. He doesn't have the abilities to, bring out a strong repertoire against these 5 other guys. So he's got.
He brought John Cena's moveset to the match.
Rob, who did you have again for this match?
For
the men's Survivor Series match.
I think Team SmackDown. I think.
Yeah, SmackDown. You guys are two Team SmackDown. No, come on. Every year Raw wins. You guys need to remember that.
Yeah, but just considering the way that it played out, I was just like.
You did have the men's team. You didn't have any sole survivors or anything, but yes, I believe the first elimination was. Geez, I'm trying to remember. I know Riddle eliminated Corbin. I will say everyone got an elimination. Riddle eliminated Corbin. I believe. Actually, the second elimination was. So I'm mixing all the eliminations, but the Messiah, for the greater good, sacrificed himself. Did you know this? So
I didn't even know he was in the match. That's how quick he was gone.
He was on the apron. He asked for the tag from Kevin Owens. They had a bit of a beef in the past at WrestleMania.
Okay.
He entered the match. Sheamus was legal. Seth, the martyr that he is, he turned around at the rest of the team and said, for the greater good. And he got on his knees and he asked Sheamus to do his part. And he took a broad kick for the greater good, and he got himself eliminated. And I think it's so brave of him for the greater good, so he can go home now, go be a father. He sacrificed himself for Becky Lynch and his incoming child.
Yeah, he went home with probably a black eye after the kick.
You know what?
Really good if you could only see your baby with one eye.
He prevented injury. He could have been in that match an hour, for all we know, and gotten seriously hurt. But you know what? For the greater good, he sacrificed himself, took that bro kick, and got himself eliminated. And I applaud. Can we applaud Seth Rollins?
No, because to be fair, he could have just not showed up. He didn't have to come and get kicked in the face.
That's unprofessional, James. Come on. Are you not going to show up to the show just because you don't want to?
I mean, I'll show up to the show. I just won't go watch the match, or I'll take the 10-second count out. But I mean, I'm not getting kicked in the face on purpose by Sheamus.
It's for the greater good. You wouldn't know. You're
No,
not
I
near-
wouldn't. Apparently, I wouldn't.
But yes, as you mentioned, everyone else got eliminated. Team Raw was working together. They were saving each other from pinfalls and eliminations, while Team SmackDown was just falling. It was like a clown show after Seth Rollins got eliminated. It was Seth. So
To be honest, I was surprised Jay lasted as long as he did.
out of those guys, honestly, I mean, I guess they've kind of been building him up. So
I mean, just when he was alone, like when he was 1-on-5, I was surprised he was still like.
he was fighting. He was fighting for it. So
I just
decent showing. What are you gonna do?
I guess I just.
Right. It played into a bigger story later on.
No, I will give the WWE credit because you have a dominant performance by Team Raw in that match, and they come out the next night on Raw, and they they built all those guys off that match, and they go forward with it. So I'm okay with it. I just think you were building Jey Uso for a little bit longer, having him headline pay-per-views with Roman Reigns, and you do nothing with him. I don't get it.
It was fine. He's fine. All right. Next up was the Raw versus SmackDown Tag Team title match. The Street Profits versus The New Day. You guys predicted Street Profits, I believe, both of you. I think, right?
I think I did.
Yes, I predicted The New Day because
that was probably the one I was kind of up in the air the most about, just because both teams are really good. That's like a babyface match, right? I mean,
pretty much. The New Day did come out in Gears of War, I think. Right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, Gears of War. Yeah, they're the new special edition content on there. They come out with their buddy,
Big E. We got to see a reunion, and then he disappeared after the entrance. But it was nice to see that moment at least.
But did they need it though? I mean, I get why they did it, and I guess if he disappears after, it works. But it's just like you kind of almost ruined the special moment that they're supposed to have at WrestleMania after Big E wins the Royal Rumble, and then he celebrates in the middle of the ring with his buddies for the first time after being on separate shows, and that's now ruined.
I think they did it because of the Gears of War thing.
Oh, of course, but it's ruined.
I mean,
and
it's still be a big deal when it happens.
To be fair, they did show a little highlight package of what they're going to look like in that game. And I kind of almost want to buy it just so I can play as them in the game. So it worked. Don't get me wrong, it worked.
You should. And you should give a review here on the show. All right. This match was fantastic. A bunch of false finishes.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned it's kind of a babyface versus babyface kind of match. The New Day played off as heels in this match. You had Kofi even kind of mocking Montez with the red Solo Cup, which was, I believe, blue this time.
Yeah, I think so. And speaking of that though too, and then you even had Xavier like yelling at the announcer saying, we're gonna give him a New Day beatdown or something. So yeah, I guess they were kind of playing that heel angle there. Now that you kind of mention it.
And they put over the younger team. So congratulations to the Street Profits. I kind of figured that would be the case, but I had to go with the New Day.
Yeah, I thought it worked out.
Yeah, it was a solid match, and so that what more can you ask for? It was a dream match for sure. All right, so we're gonna hit a quick commercial break, but when we return, we're gonna finish up this Survivor Series card, and of course. Anything else we can discuss?
Because that Women's Survivor Series match was a classic.
All right, we'll be back. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKVZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 118 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm your host, Ethan Ortiz, joined alongside the laughing analyst, James Williams, and of course, On the controls, our producer, Rob Flores. You can follow the show on Twitter at RealBTR Radio, Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, and you search up Beyond the Ropes on YouTube, and you will find 117 episodes of this pretty face. I think I missed one or two. So, but you can see Rob. I think he's in all of them. He should be because he produces all the shows. And of course, you can see James as well, somewhere there.
I pop up later on, yeah.
You're there. You come up. You're like in the middle of the series. But yes, we're talking about the 2020 Survivor Series, and we're going to talk about a match that should have gone the other way, but it is what it is. I'm talking about the United States Championship, the United States Champion versus the Intercontinental Champion match. Of course, we're talking about Bobby Lashley taking on Sami Zayn. First off, this is an injustice to Sami Zayn because Bobby Lashley had the entire Hurt Business out there. It was a 4-on-1 handicap. Bobby Lashley doesn't need any 3 other people. Sami Zayn was outnumbered. This was... I'm outraged.
To be fair, wasn't this a scenario that Sami Zayn was in like a year ago? Like, wasn't he the one with everybody and all the support and all the backup? So now that the tables have turned on Mr. Sami Zayn, it doesn't feel very nice, does it?
I have no recollection of that.
I thought he was funny. I thought he provided a lot of funny haha.
He's phenomenal. And on Twitter, do you follow him on Twitter?
I believe I don't, but I do see his tweets on occasion.
You should. First off, he's very political, but I think
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't follow him.
He uses his voice.
Not that it's bad.
I will say it's very positive from my outlook, but that's me. But he uses wrestling Twitter in the best way possible. So I think just for that, anyone should follow him. But being the champion of all the continents, you would think,
all the intercontinents.
All the continents, whatever. More than just the United States. Don't get me wrong. We live in the United States. We're happy here. But the Intercontinental Championship represents all of them.
I agree.
He represents the people. He's mentioned he represents the people. He represents us. And, they bullied him.
Well, boy, he sure did let us all down.
No, the Hurt Business are a bunch of bullies. They were ganging up on him. MVP tripped him. Did you see that?
He did. That was not a trip. That was intention. That was an accidental, forced trip. Pretend by Sami Zayn.
A trip is a trip. MVP was there. If I'm walking next to you, James, and you just stick out your foot unintentionally.
Yeah.
If I just trip over it.
But do we know that MVP did that? Did he stick out his foot though?
His foot was there. It was in the way of Sami Zayn. He should have gotten out of the way.
Sami Zayn shouldn't have been at the entranceway anyways.
He was trying to get in the ring. He was trying to
going toe to toe, man to man with young Bobby Lashley, looking him square in the eye. I know there's a height difference, but still.
About Bobby Lashley, he's about 50 years old. I can pretty much confirm that. I don't know. He's like,
looks good for whatever his age is.
He looks good. No, he does look good. But yeah, Bobby Lashley made him tap out to the Hurt Lock. So that match happened. You guys both predicted, I believe, Lashley.
I did. Women's Survivor Series match.
One final thing. It's a disgusting act that that happened. But whatever.
I don't think so. I was okay with it.
Solid match that should have gone the other way as well. But whatever, it is what it is. Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's Champion, took on the Raw Women's Champion, Asuka. Of course, I predicted Asuka. I believe Rob predicted Sasha. And James, you predicted Asuka, I believe.
I have no idea who I picked in this one. I might have went with Asuka, but when you think about it, like we have discussed before, the two women in this match have competed not that long ago. What was it when Sasha was the Raw Women's Champion? Or
Yes. Yeah, they did. They
so
competed a number of times, like three times, I want to say.
right, but most recently, I mean, they were just on a pay-per-view not that long ago. So this wasn't some sort of unique matchup between the two. Obviously, what was it? The last time they were in the ring, I think Sasha was on the losing end against Asuka. So the roles were reversed, getting that win back as they continue to build up Sasha since she's won the SmackDown title from Bayley.
Yeah.
So,
I will say this was the first clean pin for Sasha on Asuka. She's beaten her by countout. She beat her that one time Bayley put on the referee shirt and stole the Raw Women's Champion from her. And I think
she's made her submit though before, because I've seen a photo where it said all 4 horsewomen have made Asuka submit, or maybe that was Asuka making all 4 horsewomen submit. It might have been the other way.
I think all 4 horsewomen pinned Asuka. I don't know if it was submission.
No,
I saw that too. I think, but
it was like a while ago. But
it might have been submission. How did Sasha win this time? I don't even. Was it a roll up or something? No, it was submission, wasn't it? I have the results here.
No, but does Becky even have submission?
It was by pinfall this time. And Bayley never made Asuka submit, so.
Yeah, maybe Asuka made. I think it was maybe putting Asuka over, and she's made all of them submit.
Yeah, so, but I think they've all beaten her at some point as well now,
right.
Officially, like by a clean pinfall, I think. So
okay.
That happened. So it was a solid match. As you mentioned, we've seen it before. It wasn't their best match, but it was what it was.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. You're never gonna have a bad match with those two, but it just, we had just kind of seen it not too long ago. So,
of course, we're getting to James's favorite match here, the women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw featuring the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, along with former Iconic member Peyton Royce, as well as the lady. I'm forgetting. Why am I forgetting her name?
Lacey Evans?
I know her name, but I'm forgetting her nickname.
Isn't it Lacey Evans?
Southern Belle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, Lana. And then we saw Team SmackDown, which was led by, as of the previous Friday, our team captain, Bayley, who is another person on Twitter you should follow because she's fantastic on Twitter. Bayley, Natalia, who also earned her opportunity after her 3rd try.
Wow, is that a jab at the Hart family? That's what it sounded like. That's what that sounded like. It was
mentioned multiple times.
Look, I know Thanksgiving is like an American thing, and I get it, but do we have to just jab at the Canadian right now? Wow.
You don't have to. It's just Survivor Series. It's important to mention a heart on Survivor Series.
It's already a bad, and you're gonna pull that stunt. Wow. Carry on.
She also got eliminated. So
who else was in the match?
So it was Bayley. It was Natalia. It was Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and the MVP of the match. I mean, come on. I felt like she should have had her moment here. I mean, she did have her moment.
But she should have as well.
Bianca Belair.
Yep.
Who looked great, fantastic in her blue gear that she makes. By the way, she makes all her own gear.
I saw that. I saw she did make her own gear. I was pretty impressed to hear that.
Yeah, so she makes all her own gear and it always looks great. This was it was a solid match. I think the highlight, as I mentioned, was Bianca Belair. She did a number of flips on Nia Jax toward the end of the match. She held her own. She did, of course, Gorilla Press a couple times. Bayley was actually the first one eliminated by Peyton Royce, so good for Peyton Royce.
Yeah, but is that really a captain's?
Bayley had an off night. Not gonna lie, she had an off night.
I guess so. I mean, she wasn't.
It happens. It happens to the best of them.
Oh, it sure does. I mean, I'm not discrediting anything about it. I'm just like, come on now.
It is what it is.
But I think, at the end of the day, when we look back at this 5 years from now, the results will show, as they should, a strong showing for Lana. You keep putting her through the table over and over. It doesn't matter. She was the sole survivor of the Survivor Series match. 2020 goes to Lana. Just saying. Did she not look strong?
No, she didn't.
She never got knocked down.
She was sent to the corner by Nia Jax.
They were all in the corner.
Ring
Waiting
step.
for a tag.
No, she wasn't even waiting for a tag. She was sent to the ring steps where she couldn't even get a tag. And she stood there the entire match and did nothing.
If no one reaches out for a tag, then how is she going to take the tag?
She could have. She could have gone up in there.
Look, her teammates were trying to hold her back. She wasn't going for it. She held her ground, and look where it got her.
She didn't
got her a victory.
She listened to them. She didn't stand up for herself.
She got the victory.
Anyways.
You know what? If there's going to be a new Messiah, it should be Lana. Because they should all be bowing at the feet of Lana. Everyone else on that team, because she carried them.
I'm leaving the Zoom meeting. Goodbye.
No, you can't. We still got time. Lana is,
Should have been
next week. Lana's going to start putting Nia Jax to a table.
I don't think that's going to happen. Anyways, the main event. The main event of the show. Of course, earlier in the night, we obviously saw Jey Uso. He was unable to lead his team to victory. So, of course, Roman Reigns gave him a little talking to backstage.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even want
to take off his belt and just give him a whooping.
Basically. And so we saw our main event between the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, taking on the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
This was a phenomenal match. A lot of false finishes. This was everything, I guess, you would expect between these two. Mm-hmm. A match that could have been saved for WrestleMania.
Could have been.
Yeah, it could have been better built. But of course, the result was kind of expected. A little foul play. The referee got knocked out. Roman Reigns resorted to a little low blow. Jey Uso got involved, hitting a super kick because he was locked and loaded all night with super kicks.
Yeah, of course.
And so Roman eventually got in the guillotine, which he's been using, and essentially made McIntyre, I believe, pass out. So
That's right.
is the best of the best. Of course, he and Jey embraced on the stage, because Jey was almost not going to sit at the table for Thanksgiving this week.
Right. He earned his turkey, but
he almost lost that plate.
But does Roman know that Jey interfered? I don't know if he does.
Yes, he saw him. I think he saw him when he hit that super kick. Because Jey was in the ring, so he did see him. He acknowledged him, and that's why he acknowledged him at the end. Because he
looked like he kind of didn't know. I mean, it was obvious. I mean, if Jay's sitting at the top of the ramp all exhausted, yeah, something went down, but
he got involved.
I don't know.
So, I will say I'm going to leave the head of the table open and cleared at my house, because if Roman Reigns wants to come over, obviously I'm not going to have him sit at the kids' table. I'm going to have him sit next to me and with the rest of us. He's going to sit at the head of the table. By the way, he has a new shirt that says head of the table, and I want it so bad because it's incredible. I am, I'm the biggest Roman Reigns fan right now.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from being the biggest Seth Rollins fan, Roman Reigns is my tribal chief. Do you guys want to say it as well? Because you guys need to step in line. I'm just kidding.
So I just think to keep you honest and hold you to your statement there, I expect a photo tomorrow of an empty place at the table.
Okay. I'll get that done for you.
All right, sounds good. I expect to see it.
I'll even post it on the Beyond the Ropes Twitter and Facebook. So,
you bet.
Just remind me just in case, because I don't want to forget. But I'll make sure it'll be.
I'll make a note right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening.
This is gonna happen. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Now, whether Roman shows up or not, I mean, he's a busy guy. He's
I'm
gonna,
not saying, yeah.
gonna show up, but
But
there.
in case he does, there's a spot.
There's always a spot for Roman.
Spot open. Yeah.
Okay.
So, what else did you have?
We're closing it out here. We talked about Survivor Series. I think now that we're entering December, over the next few weeks, however many weeks, we're going to continue doing the show for the rest of the year. I think we're going to do a little countdown, kind of best of. I've already listed a number of things, including best matches and stuff like that, and moments and stuff. So I've already listed some things. I'll send it to you guys, so you guys kind of get a heads up. Maybe if you guys are able to kind of rewatch or watch it for the first time, those moments, so that way we'll do that. So maybe even doing like a best of the Undertaker. So
or maybe the best of Bret Hart. Yeah, I mean that's great.
It's gonna be a very short episode. Anyways, let's say our farewells. Everyone's gonna have. I mean, by the time I think this airs on the radio, it'll already be over. But for YouTube, hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Of course, you can follow me. You can follow me at EthanMV95 on Twitter. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter. Go ahead and follow me. I'd be very thankful.
And of course, Rob. You can follow him at
Rob Flores Media.
And of course, Real BTR Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, and YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes, and you'll find numerous episodes there.
Before we tap out, what is everyone's favorite dish on Thanksgiving Day?
I'm a big mashed potato person.
Okay, I can respect that.
And gravy.
Or no gravy.
Extra gravy.
Extra gravy.
All the I want my gravy everywhere on the plate. That's where turkey, ham, all of it.
Now, I try turkey and I like to mix it in my mashed potatoes. Is that weird?
Nah, it is what it is.
It all goes down the same, right?
That's what I was thinking. So,
Rob, what are you putting on your plate? What do you like?
Stuffing.
I'm not a stuffing.
I'm not a stuffing person either, to be honest.
Well, we put raisins in it with celery and apples.
You lost me.
You lost me.
It sounded a little better, if you would have said apples, and what else did you say? And celery?
Yeah, and raisins.
I would have been okay, but you would have lost me either way with the raisins. It's a no. It's a no for me.
Tap out. That's it. We're done. We can't.
But you know what my favorite dish is?
What?
It's sweet potatoes.
That's just too sweet.
There you go. Boom.